Tonight on Denver7 News at 6.
I don't want them there.
Denver Pride Fest says police are no longer welcome.
I have zero interest in seeing a single member of the Denver Police Department at any sort of queer event or organization going forward ever.
2 Loveland police officers are charged in the assault of a 73-year-old woman.
These officers did not do what they did in a vacuum.
Plus, Maggie Long's sister on the FBI's decision to investigate her murder as a hate crime.
It means there's going to be a lot more resources and manpower going into the investigation.
CU spends big to get the president out of its system.
And the Blues and Avs avoid a nightmare scenario. Good evening. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Shannon Hogg.
And I'm Ann Trujillo. And tonight we're going to be talking a lot about trust, specifically trust between the police and the people they are sworn to protect.
This isn't about blame. It's about acknowledgement. We know there are plenty of good police officers out there working hard to establish relationships and foster goodwill.
We also know that without a lawsuit, we would have never heard about Karen Garner. If not for cell phone video, George Floyd's death would have been written off as just another unfortunate incident. If not for a national campaign, there would not be multiple investigations into the death of Elijah McClain.
Well, this week, pride organizations in Denver and around the country decided they no longer want police involved in their events.
Denver7's Gary Bro joins us live this evening. Gary, this decision caught a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, it's really been a mixed reaction of people I've spoke to here in the LGBTQ community. Some are in favor of it, saying that they don't feel safe when police are at the pride parades. Others I talked to say by excluding a group, really you are losing the point of what pride's all about. Because of COVID, Denver's Pride Parade was already going to look different than in years past.
This year, the parade will be virtual, and many of our events will be smaller scale because of the pandemic.
Now, more change is coming as one group will be missing.
This was not a decision made lightly, and it was actually made with kind of a heavy heart.
Rex Fuller is the CEO of the Center on Colfax, the group responsible for Denver Pride Parade. He says the decision to exclude the Denver Police Department this year has been a conversation several years in the making.
In the context of the Black Lives Matter protests last summer, we really felt like we got to a point where we couldn't remain neutral any longer.
This comes after New York City Pride Parade organizers also banned officers from marching in their parade.
I mean, I started going to Pride when I was a lot younger, like in my high school years, and I always was kind of like uneasy about the presence of police.
Dion Burrows is in favor of the center's decision.
Literally in the last year, we watched Denver Police Department wreak havoc upon us directly. So it would just be so dark and awful to see them back and acting like nothing had happened the year following at our celebrations.
The Denver Police Department tells me they respect the center's decision to have law enforcement sit out this Pride Fest and look forward to building upon their relationships with the center and LGBTQ community moving forward.
We don't trust that they can keep us safe in the ways that we would like.
Athena Silvers says having police at the parade makes participants feel insecure, but acknowledges that not allowing a group into a parade can be a slippery slope.
It's never good to be completely exclusionary because that's how we create divisions amongst ourselves. And the more divisions we create, the more problems we're going to have with conflict.
I did ask the CEO over here at the Center on Colfax if the police departments will be involved in 2022. He says it is just too soon to tell. Over in Aurora right now, the Pride organizers for that parade are having an emergency meeting to determine if police will be invited to theirs. We're expecting to hear something from them later today. Reporting live here on Colfax, I'm Gary Brode, Denver7.
Be sure and follow up. Thank you. Now, trust or lack thereof was a common theme surrounding today's announcement of charges in the Karen Garner case.
A former Loveland police officer, Austin Hopp, is now charged with second-degree assault, attempting to influence a public servant, and official misconduct. Hopp was the officer to bring Garner to the ground last year, dislocating her shoulder.
Daria Jalali was the second officer on the scene. She's charged with failure to report use of force, failure to intervene, and first-degree official misconduct.
We have 2 former employees that were charged with crimes. They do not work here, so our reaction is extreme disappointment. Our officers that work here right now are integrity-based. They have ethics. They have duty. They work so hard. So I don't believe they need to have a message sent to them because they already know right from wrong.
It is not satisfactory to this family or to the community at large with videos like these with so many other officers involved, that only 6 criminal charges against 2 officers is the result. It is unacceptable that we watched those 2 sets of videos and Chief Ticer decided to stay in charge.
I feel like they think that they're above the law and they're the ones that are supposed to be protecting all of us. I just want justice for my mom.
Loveland police say the majority of officers now have undergone Alzheimer's awareness training and that additional de-escalation training is planned.
The Denver police officer whose gun was used to kill Isabella Thallas has resigned. Sergeant Dan Politica said his friend Michael Close took the rifle without his knowledge. Thallas was murdered last summer while walking her dog in the ballpark neighborhood. And her death inspired a law that now requires people to quickly report lost or stolen firearms.
2 Glendale police officers will be sued for shooting and killing a man last Halloween. Now, John Pacheco was found asleep at the wheel of a stolen truck parked at Colorado and Alameda. He woke up, saw officers at his door. He tried to get away, and prosecutors say he clipped an officer in the process. That officer and his partner then grabbed their guns and fired into that truck. The DA's office decided this week that the officers had reason to fear for their lives and said they won't be charged. Now, Pacheco's attorney said there's no evidence an officer was even ever hit by the truck and that police should not have fired into a moving vehicle.
What you're doing when you are shooting into a moving vehicle is creating a vehicle that is going out of control. You no longer have a driver who is at the wheel. You no longer have a driver that is controlling the gas pedals. You now have a driver who most likely, after being shot at, and in this case, shot at 19 times, is being killed or maimed.
Attorneys say the lawsuit will be one of the first since Colorado eliminated qualified immunity for police officers. It's not yet been filed.
The House has voted to launch a committee to study the events of January 6th. It is unclear whether the Senate will do the same. 10 Republican votes are required, and Mitch McConnell has already expressed his view that the current investigation by law enforcement and the previous impeachment efforts were enough. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet strongly disagrees.
It is passing with bipartisan support in the House. It should pass with bipartisan support in the Senate. And it's vital for us to do this. I mean, there are so many seeds that were planted, some intentionally and maybe some unintentionally, that led to the insurrection on January 6th. But it's something we have to understand. I mean, a violent mob overcame the Capitol Police, killed members of the Capitol Police, threatened the Capitol, invaded the Capitol. And I want us to understand the dimensions of that.
Now, Colorado Congressman Ken Buck said he would have supported a bipartisan commission to investigate the January 6th attack and other recent political violence, but says this isn't that. Now, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says it would be split evenly between Democrats and Republicans, so it is exactly that. And Congresswoman Lauren Boebert also voted against. Her office did not return our request for comment.
A hate crime designation means the Maggie Long case is going to get a fresh set of eyes. And today her family told Denver7's Liz Gilardi they couldn't be more grateful.
We definitely really cherish the memories we have with her. And I think that's part of how we're able to continue day to day.
Maggie Long's memory lives on in her parents' home and with her sisters as they continue to seek justice.
She did not deserve what happened to her. She was the friendliest, the most innocent.
Maggie was murdered in December 2017 at her family home in Park County. Investigators would later reveal she was burned alive. The motive has remained a mystery, and the why has baffled her family. Now everyone is left wondering if there was another factor.
I think when you look at the crime that occurred, it would be hard to say that the brutality and violence of the crime got to that level without there being another factor of extreme hatred.
The FBI is investigating the murder as a possible hate crime. Maggie was Asian American. Her parents were born in a refugee camp and came to the U.S. where they opened restaurants. Her family says a detective recently told them the case would be reclassified, but they didn't think about the horrific killing as a hate crime, at least not initially.
And so, you have to wonder then, why was the crime so hateful? Why did she die in such a violent, brutal manner? This is not a death that was accidental. It was completely intentional. And I think for those reasons, there must be another angle of why somebody would go to that extent to express their hatred.
Maggie's sisters say this latest development has them rethinking everything, and they want the community to do the same. The FBI tip line is open, and there's a $75,000 reward for information.
Hopefully it gets people to think about the case from a different perspective, or think about the interactions they may have had with people in Bailey during that time.
Most of all, they hope it will lead to answers.
There's still that heaviness that keeps us in the past, while her, spirit encourages us to have hope and to move forward. We're still tethered to that night in 2017, and until we get real answers, I don't know if we can really truly move on.
Liz Gilardi, Denver7.
Outgoing CU President Mark Kennedy will be paid $1.3 million as part of his separation agreement. Kennedy is on year 2 of a 3-year contract, and his departure comes just weeks after he was censured by faculty for a perceived lack of action on diversity and for a, quote, history of problematic and hurtful statements.
And before we head to the break, we want to appeal to that famous Colorado sense of kindness.
You remember this. 10 days ago, 6 people from the same family were murdered while celebrating a birthday party in Colorado Springs. Well, to date, the Colorado Healing Fund has raised only $8,200 for their loved ones.
In comparison here, more than $4 million was generated in the wake of the King Super shooting. So if you would like to give to either cause, please visit the Colorado Healing Fund's website. Donating only really just takes a few seconds, and we know every little bit is appreciated.
We still have some storms out there, but tomorrow looks like a warm, dry day.
And the COVID scare that nearly derailed Game 2 of the Avs playoff series.